Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian. Welcome back to Out of the Park Baseball 24 with the Oakland Athletics. Last season didn't end so good. We finished below 500, but still reasonably good. Like, I'm not that upset about how we performed. We need to start making some changes. We got to find something to help us break through the issues we've been having. We're still not scoring runs. That is becoming a very serious issue. Part of that is just finding a good mix of players, but let's take a look at a couple of things that a few commenters, commented on. Beginning with Sergio Oviedo. Now, Mr. Oviedo is an average outfielder. Besacoa's better. Lim is comparable. And he wasn't going to play in center field anyway. So that's one thing that we can feel fairly good about is letting him play first, at least for now. Although certainly as time changes, we can think about pushing him back into the outfield, perhaps. So a couple things you have to consider. A couple commenters raised the concern of defense, specifically the catcher position. Now, Mr. Cartaya here is not an amazing catcher. It's a known fact. And he certainly didn't hit that well with us either. So, is he a good fit for the club? I'm not sure yet. I'm certainly willing to let him have another year, because what he's a fairly good hitter for a catcher. Now, the comment was made that catchers make your pitchers better. In other words, a great defensive catcher might be worth more than a merely good defensive catcher who also happens to be a better hitter. The problem is, our offense is already so impotent that I worry weakening it further is just going to lead us into a tailspin. I don't know that getting an elite defensive catcher would actually make up for the fact that our offense has struggled so badly. So we're going to see what happens this offseason, though. It's going to be an important offseason for us. I am not going to sign anybody until we get a new scouting director. That's job one. In my opinion, we need a new scouting director, and then we can start thinking about who we want and make some decisions then. Monty Barnes wants to be our scouting director, and he signs it. Beautiful. Man, Paul Skeens is sure costing us a lot of money. So who are flagship talents right now? Who are the big dogs, the ones that drive the rest of our team? Oviedo is our offensive soul. And yet, I'm still constantly finding that he's leaving something on the table. Who knows if that's true or not, but it is what it is. A top quality Oviedo is going to drive the rest of the team. Peyton Green is kind of the soul of the team right now. He's been the most consistent year in and year out, coupling pretty good defense with a pretty good bat. Rodolfo Romero, our first big ticket item, certainly looks like a good choice as well. He might very well win Rookie of the Year, which would be pretty cool. So the infield is more or less okay. I'm more concerned about the future of Jacob Kendall, to be honest with you, but we will see how that goes after a year of arbitration. It's the outfield that seems to be struggling a bit. None of them really strike me as definitely great players. We've got 3 center fielders, none of whom are anything exceptional yet. Minor could be. Howman is maybe already done. It's hard to say. But none of our outfielders really set the world on fire. I mean, Bessacoa was one of our best, and even he disappointed. So we've got to get a top-producing outfielder. Somebody who just is an incredible hitter to lead the rest of this team. Because we have a lot of players that all have some level of potential. The challenge, of course, is that none of them have actually done anything with that potential yet. Our pitching staff is fine, although flawed. And there's not really a ton on the way either. I was trying to say Westminster. I think Westminster Dog Show. Like, maybe that's probably makes his money. I don't know. So we have a lot of good prospects, but they're all kind of mid-tier right now. And the ones who are a little bit better are all fairly far down the road. I'm not saying that Kevin Lane has a huge potential role on this club, but I don't want to lose him for nothing, so I'm going to go and add him to the 30-man, or 38-man rather. Darren McGinnis isn't very good. I don't think anyone's going to care about him. I wouldn't mind picking Alvarado. We've only got 2 catches on the 40-man, and if something happens to one of them, I think Alvarado is next man up. So I'm going to add him. And then the rest of you can do what you want. Let's talk cashola. We're actually over budget right now. I think there are a couple ways we can actually save some money, but we'll worry about that here in a minute. Let's worry about arbitration first. Melvin Hernandez wants a giant raise. He's a very good pitcher, don't get me wrong. But he's also a sidearmer without a ton of stamina, meaning his future's probably best served for the bullpen. He is a very talented pitcher, but I'm going to look at some of these other guys first. Zach Kent, I will happily give a raise to. He's actually done pretty good work with us, and he's not asking for a bunch of money. I think it's highly reasonable to go ahead and give him an extension. Romero Llano is a really good pitcher, but he's also very flawed, and his price tag just keeps going up. I think trading him does make some sense. So let's see what might be available if we did trade him. I'm going to come back. I just saw Julio Flores. I'll also look at that first baseman too. Andres Mena is a really good all-around hitter. There's a lot to like here. Mena's a definite maybe. Nope, I'm not going to go for Julio Flores. I know I have a type. I'm going to fight that, though. I love these high average hitters, but they have a very short lifespan. I'm going to go ahead and grab Mina. I think that's the best choice given our current team. So complete trade, done. That both saves us money and gets us a pretty talented player to add to the roster in one capacity or another. Cool. So I probably need to keep one of Perez or Silvera, if not both. This is Silvera's first. It says, so far it's his only good season, and this is always going to be an issue. Because remember, our ballpark does suppress home runs to a certain degree. I also know that I want a big-time pitcher, especially someone who's actually been below replacement level 2 seasons, and just started to put it together. Michael Perez is a little bit of a better bet. So I think Perez is going to be my first extension here, reliever-wise. No, he wants to get paid. I respect that. There we go. Done. Let's trade Silvera too and see what we can get for him. As predicted, it's a much weaker class. But I think grabbing a guy like Santana that's very high character and maybe trying to get David Mendoza too could be pretty handy. But obviously I'd love to get one of these higher tier prospects, but I'm not delusional enough to think that they're going to hand him over. Wonder if we could get Devon Schaffner. That's probably too much. Yeah, that's way too much. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to risk it. Manzano, maybe? No, you like Manzano too much. That's fair. You're pretty dumb. But a guy like Tim Coolison. That's fine. I'm not getting a ton. This is about as much about trying to save money as it is anything else. What about Melvin Hernandez? Hernandez wants to get paid like an elite level starting pitcher, which he is not. Melvin Hernandez has many, many things. An elite starting pitcher he isn't. So that is probably not going to work for me. I'm just saying, I don't think it's going to work for me. 7, 8, 9, 10. If I could trade Skeens somehow, I'm not going to be able to, but let's just try it. Is there somebody who's dumb enough to make an offer for him? I could do it for Tariq Skubal. So basically, I'm asking myself, will he be more valuable than Skubal? He won't. What if I eat 25% of his contract? I could get Francis Peguero. No. It's not worth it. I'm not saying that Skeens is a great player, but I'm not going to get rid of him for pennies on the dollar if there's a chance he has a rebound season and I can turn him into something better. So I'm just gonna ignore this for right now. What else? Voot Eels. Hernandez. So here's the interesting question. Do we trade Jacob Kendall? Now, let's talk this through. If we traded Jacob Kendall, who plays second base? That's a really good question. And I don't really have a young player that I think is capable of handling second base. So if we trade him, we'd have to get ourselves a new second baseman. Yes, we could have Cholowski play second. He's a good defender. I guess that's something. But he's not Kendall's equal with the bat. Now, if I could get something top tier for Jacob Kendall, it's kind of a no-brainer. He's asking for a gigantic raise, and to be honest with you, I'm not sure he deserves it. He's had 4 good seasons. Don't get me wrong. But I think he's valuing himself more as a shortstop, and he's not a shortstop. What can I get for trading you, Mr. Kendall? Only prospects and regulars, please. No veterans. Not a single one of these players is top tier, which is kind of what I was afraid of. I'll still take a look, but I'll be honest with you, this is very much me keeping my players as is. I reckon Angeli's back. I don't think so. No. No. Don't you love it when you're being forced to keep a player because all the others are worse choices? I mean, the value of Paris is he is a captain, so that's going to help with our team chemistry, but he's not going to be as good as Kendall. Not even close. Beltre's fine. Cabrera's fine. I think we have to keep Kendall. At least until I can get us a decent replacement for him. Which leaves Hernandez, right? This is kind of what I anticipated would be happening, is that we would trade Hernandez. Because I'm not sure how good he's going to be long term. I think he's a poor bet to be much better than he was last season. So I think trading him and trying to get some quality players in return could be a good deal. Almost, and you're asking mostly for chumps. So you can have Arellano. Done. So Mr. Hernandez, somebody's going to want you. Bad enough to trade for you. And hopefully we can just get somebody really decent in exchange. I'm seeing some 60s here, which is a good sign. It's a very good sign. Any elite players, though? Alright. So we're going to go back to the top, and then we're going to start looking through our options here. Nope. Cooper Cheadle has some pretty good athletic gifts, but he's also not very smart. I looked at Flores, didn't want to afford, don't want to know. Chad Light is really interesting because he's an elite defender, but he'll never hit. Like, ever. I don't think he's a good bet. Kevin Stapura is a pretty decent pitcher. I kind of like him a bit. Mike Grassel is pretty decent too. If I could get both of them, that would be a decent return for Hernandez. I'm trying to get hitters if I can, though. Maybe that's enough. No. I'm not going to overthink this. I'm going to trade for Woodle and Avila. Or Avila. And see if that's good enough for you. So here's the thing. The benefit of making this trade is it gets us two fairly cheap players who are admittedly both going to hit arbitration. Oh, that's a good point. That's actually a really good point. Nope. I don't want to add salary. That's the whole reason I'm trading Hernandez in the first place. So I'd rather get one really good player than a couple that I have to pay for. Chrisman and Marine would be worth it. Let's try that. Can I get a prospect too? Can I get greedy? Okay, so Cervantes is clearly off the board. I was kind of hoping he wouldn't be, but that's all right. I'm okay with that. I do want another middle infielder, so I think Schubert would be a decent fit. And let's kind of go with this. Let's submit this offer and see what we get in return. You're asking for something fairly good in return. I think Moreno is worth giving up, unless Ramos is just doomed. And Ramos is pretty stupid, so we'll go with this. I know fans are going to be bummed about trading Hernandez, but I think this genuinely gives us the better team. We are relying an awful lot on either Swanson returning to his former glory or somebody else stepping up, but I still feel pretty decent about that. So we keep Kendall for at least one more season, and that's that. Do we want to try to keep Siani? I don't think so. If I could maybe keep him for a fairly cheap sum, no, I'm not paying him $5 million for a center fielder that's not that special. Kent, Perez, and Kendall all stay. Let us sim up to Hall of Fame voting. Silver Slugger for who? Oh, Diego Cartaya. Wait, Rodolfo Romero didn't get Rookie of the Year? How close was he? He finished second, so what fucker actually got it? Ernesto Lima. Man, it's because he hits fucking home runs. That's the only reason why you picked him. No, actually, he was genuinely the better player. I retract my statement. Let's do some Hall of Fame voting, shall we? I think 50 WAR is worth a vote. So I'm going to vote for both Bregman and Bogaerts, even though I don't think either one of them is going to make it. I'll obviously vote for Bryce Harper. And Freddie Freeman. I mean, I'm a big fan of Frankie Lindor, to be honest with you. And I think even Manny Machado deserves it. It's actually a pretty good class here. Potentially, I'll vote for Kutch. Gotta vote for Jose Ramirez. I'm nothing if not predictable. Kyle Tucker, no. Trey Turner, okay. Joey Votto, yes. And I'll go for Wainwright, and I've got a few more slots left. I'm fairly happy, though, with who I'm voting for. I don't really see a need to vote for anybody else in particular. I'll vote for DeGrom. It's not going to matter, but I do think he has a decent chance in real life. Like, to be honest with you, I could see 5 people getting in. I could see nobody getting in. Lindor, Freeman, Votto, and Jose Ramirez probably has the easiest shot, but it's certainly not a guarantee. Because there's a lot of players that are Hall worthy, but the voters just seem stuck on. Like, I don't know why Joey Votto has to keep waiting. I genuinely don't know why he hasn't been voted in already. Besides the fact it's obvious it's because a lot of his value comes from walks. And the Hall of Fame voters have always struggled with that. But we're going to vote for these 12 gentlemen and see who makes it. Let's go to free agents, find how much money we actually have to work with. What's our shopping list? What would we love to get this offseason? A couple things. I'd love one more starting pitcher. A cheap, reliable starting pitcher would go down nice and smooth. Especially because we want to have Mike Swanson back until the All-Star break. Because I think he's kind of our big future guy here. I assume he returns at all. I don't know why you're not even going to try Moy on the starting rotation, but that's another possibility, of course. So I want to try to get a rotation player. That's step one. I'd love to get a high-producing outfielder. Just somebody who can just deliver offensively. Because right now we have a whole bunch of... Miner's probably the better center fielder of the two that I have now. But that might be something else to consider. What if we grab ourselves a new center fielder? I don't want to lose Frank Moreno until I'm ready to lose Frank Moreno, so I'll go ahead and throw him on the 40-man. Who else, though? Who else? What else do we really want? A big producing outfielder would be lovely. At least one starting pitcher, I think, is mandatory. A distinguished reliever or two? Perhaps. And to do all this, I have $12 million. I am not over budget, am I? I'm planning to lose 5 million this season. You're being weird, game. I know we played really poorly last year, but I don't see that being a reason to make me cut. Okay, this can be cut a bit. Let's cut this down to 20 million. And I'm no longer over budget. Brilliant. This then frees up 20 million in current money and 10 million for extensions. So that's good. I'm not going to increase ticket prices. I'm not going to do that. That's foolhardy in the extreme. Let's check the free agent market now. I'm even going to look at the top of the market. That's not going to happen here. Bringing back old Oakland pal Joe Boyle makes a lot of sense, actually. Plus, he's super cheap. I think this is a pretty solid beginning to our free agent. Oh, that's like you hate Marcotte, don't you? That's fine. Let's look at starters. Let's try to get ourselves a quality starting pitcher for not too much money. And clearly I'm asking for too much. Chase Petty is fine. But I'm not super convinced he's going to be any better than a lot of other pitchers I've had. Okay, so we're priced out of the starting pitching market. Cool. What outfielders? Mason Hour sucks. We could bring back Max Clark for the low price of $11 million. That seems like a waste, though. We'd have whatever's left of Mookie Betts. Probably not, though. I almost feel like I'd rather keep the outfielders we have now and let them figure it out rather than invest heavily in an outfielder. Because none of you guys really do much for me. None are the top tier hitters that we really need. And the ones that are fairly top tier are a little bit too pricey for me. Like Jorge Barosa is $20 million. Never mind. I was saying, wow, that's a player I could actually get behind. And then I saw how much he actually wanted. 11 million for Max Clark is too much. It's too much money. I decline. So I love how I came in with a shopping list and I can afford literally none of it. Partly because pitchers don't like Marcotte. So I can't actually sign a pitcher, which is what we really need. Unless I pay a premium. Kazuhito Fujii is a fantastic pitcher that would also cost me $9 million. I don't think that's a good use of my resources. We could bring back old friend Alex Watson, I guess. The problem is Alex Watson can't hit, though. He can't. We already know this. And so bringing him back hoping that all of a sudden he can hit, it just seems silly to me. Prelander Burrows seems like a relatively decent bet, so I think we'll go ahead and offer him a contract. I'm going to do the same here for Matt Cantorino, just because he's literally costing nothing but a roster spot. Jackson Cox would be a reasonably good starting pitcher, if not for the fact that once he loses his stuff, he's going to be thoroughly unremarkable. So that's a bit of an issue. Are there any mid-tier starting pitchers that don't want billions of dollars? Chase Petty is the only one. I guess I'm willing to give him a try. Maybe add in a couple of team options. I don't feel great about it, but we can at least try it. All right. Yes, yes, yes. I'm not losing Swanson, but I will happily designate Flores for assignment. I do need to make room on the 40-man for Swanson, though, because I ain't letting him go. Daniel Lloyd, get fucked, please. Kindly go fuck yourself. There you go. Alright. We need to get rid of Skeens somehow. Spending that much on a starting pitcher who's mediocre at best is just such a bad look for us. Like, it's seriously hurting us to a very significant degree. The problem is, nobody wants him. Nobody wants him. And if nothing else, he eats innings. He doesn't eat them particularly well, but maybe getting a better defense behind him will help. I'm not sure. Man, this is rough, though. This is going to be a rough offseason. Really? You fucking assholes. I lose 2 spots in the fucking lottery. Thanks, guys. That really helps. Jerks. Like, look, there was no chance of me getting into the top 10, into the number 1 pick, which is fine. But I was hoping we would at least get to pick in the top 10. I don't think that was unreasonable, but apparently it is. Great. Apparently the fans love Prelander Baroa, though. I mean, who wouldn't? How are you, Mr. Baroa? You're kind of mid as a starter, though. Let's hope we can get some good values in the Rule 5. I think that may be the best place we can add some talent. Oh, I guess I do have to actually add you to the roster, don't I? Why do you don't need a major league contract. Yeah, just go to the minors, dude. Don't be fucking weird. You would give me the Steve Litwin, eh? Okay, so first things first, I don't hate Steve Litwin. He's actually a fairly decent player. And you're getting Ethan Small, I don't care. And Kevin Bowman. Yeah, I will happily make this deal. Done. I'm not even going to hesitate about it because Litwin is actually genuinely an interesting player to me. Congratulations, Mr. Saldate. You've now won the dubious prize of worst player on the 38-man roster. So there's Litwin, who's literally Mina, but like worse at defense. So we'll see. We'll see. I also want to clear a couple spots off the 38-man roster just so I can at least grab some people if I want to. Gregoire can be designated. But I want to do one more at least. I'm just going to trade Cholwowski for any prospect I can get because it doesn't really do it for me. No? Alright. To the DFA, you scurvy dog. Alright. Let's do Rule 5 draft. Start. All right. So I'm not seeing a ton of interesting players here. Zoom is a really interesting pick. I'd certainly be willing to give him a chance. He's not very loyal. He's got a lot of greed, but I think he's an interesting enough pitcher that I do think I'll take him. Oh, Grassel's still here too. Is still here as well. Oh, he costs a bit more money. I'm gonna actually pick Zoom draft. Draft until next pick. You're a decent defender, but you're not a very good hitter. Now, Roscoe I can get behind. I can get behind having a backup infielder that can really crank the ball if he does get on top of it. So I think this is actually a good fit for us. And that's all I can take. Oh, there's literally only 2 rounds in the Rule 5 draft anyway, so there we go. I guess there are 3 rounds, so there you go. Alright, let's go up to international free agent signing, because I think this is where we're going to be able to add our real good players. I need to free up space on the 40-man again for the new guy. Cantorino to the minors. Jonathan Norris is least interesting. I don't want to lose him if I don't have to. We can get rid of Uroldi Petri. I don't really see much benefit to keeping him on the roster. That'll let me add Petty. I'm nothing if not consistent, guys. I'm nothing if not consistent. I'm going to try to trade Skeens again just for the lulz. Look at all players in all positions. Wow, you want me to trade him for a worse player with a worse contract? I don't know why I would ever not do that. Oh wait, yes I do. Man, fuck off with that shit. See, the problem is I'm taking on a bunch of salary just to take these guys. And it's not worth it to me. I'm still effectively playing the same amount, if not even more, for players that genuinely don't look that much better. So I think I shall decline. I want to try an experiment. I have a feeling this is not going to work at all. Let's give it a shot. What if I ask for a prospect package and allow the AI to include another player? Nope. Yeah, it's fine. Skeens will get more tradable as we get closer to the end of his deal, so for right now I'm just not going to worry about it. How am I over budget again? Are you fucking mental, game? Run the practice, please. How does this keep happening? We're 3 million over budget. Man, I don't want to cut the scouting budget anymore. I'm going to cut this by 5 million. That should help. I wish our fucking owner wasn't such a douchebag. Fuck you, John Fisher. Just die already. All right. Wow, your Yeroldi Petri is very popular. All the kids want a piece of that. Enjoy, Kansas City. Enjoy. Yeah, it's his weird lust for profit that's really hurting us right now. I should not have to have, like, one of the lowest payrolls in the league just to feed his ego. Well, Jose Ramirez and Freddie Freeman both made it. That's cool. What now? Yes. Our final scout. I am not over budget. Like, what the actual fuck? You just randomly decided that I'm over budget. I'm not. We're going to make a profit. Just stop lying to me. Game. I'd rather cut scouting another 2 million than touch the player development budget. That's kind of where I draw the line there. I'm not fucking over budget. Your mother is over budget. I hate this. This doesn't make any sense to me at all. I am not over budget. Nothing here tells you that I am over budget, besides your weird insistence that I am. I don't know what your deal is, game, but I'd like you to stop it, please. All right. Jesus Delgado is a pretty great player. He doesn't have an obvious position, but I will happily offer him a deal. Offer you 2.4 million to start out with. I'm also going to go after Luis Delgado, who's a pretty amazing pitcher. If I can get these two players, I will consider this a very beneficial class. So let's simulate a couple of days here. I need the pitching talent a bit more than I need the offensive talent, so I will offer him more money. And then I can't go any higher on you, so that's fine. I may just spend on the one guy. Yeah, Devin Obey is not terribly interesting. No, we got Gutierrez, that's good. Or Delgado, that's good. So are we a better team? Oh, that's interesting. Kicking Skeens to the bullpen, are we? Oh, that's a false decision because Swanson's not going to be back for 3 more months. So I'm just going to go ahead and put him back on the IL and then have you reconsider. Interesting. I don't know that I hate this decision, actually. I don't know how I don't think it's going to work, but I don't know that I hate it either. We'll see what happens. For sure. We're going to go start some training. I should not assign schemes for that much. Oh my god, it just keeps punishing me. I mean, Delgado just got signed as already in the minors, so that's pretty cool. Hamano Pusan, huh? That sounds vaguely naughty. That's cool. Alright, let's get some mid-tier prospects, some opportunities. Hi, Josh Fearington. What I think mid-tier prospect, I think you're kind of first on the list for me. I can give you some reps in spring training. That seems reasonable. Cholowski, Doggett, Gonzalez, Gregoire. Hayden, Collison, Baroa, Cantorino. I'll give LaChance an opportunity or two. There you go. It's a nice, well-rounded spring training group here. Okay, so we're currently playing Mina in left, which is odd. You know what? What if I did ask you to put him in left field? Let's try an experiment, Mr. Kotze. What if I had you play him in left field? How does that change the rest of my lineup? You basically bench Mina at that point over Litwin. So Jonathan Nelson then plays every day at first base, which is fun. It's not terribly thrilling, but I've seen worse decisions. We're going to try this at least in spring training and see how it works out. How the fuck is Paul Skeens 30 years old and still on a goddamn pitch count? No. Cease. You're 30 years old. You will pitch until your arm comes off. And then we're going to sim until opening day, basically. Jonathan Norris has improved significantly. You'd love to see that. Ben Hayden got better. Minor getting better is very nice. That's very appreciated. Because I think he's got the current inside track on the center field gig. Herniated disc tube shot for 2 weeks. That's whatever. And 1 more week. Oh, that's lovely. That is fantastic news. Let's get the roster set up. All right. So let's begin by checking things out. I have 22 pitchers. I only want 12. So Cullison to the minors. Hayden to the minors. Venegas to the minors. Fairbank to the minors, I think. I think some more innings in the high minors will benefit him quite a bit. What am I at now? I'm at 18 pitchers, so I got to get rid of 6 more. We're going to make another decision right now. Joshua Baez, your days as a two-way player are over. Oh, I literally can't take control of this unless I take full control of him. I'm going to trade Joshua Baez. At this point, the game's insistence on letting him pitch when he's not very good at it is hurting the team more than his relatively skilled offense is helping it. So, Mr. Baez, I will trade you for any reasonable offer. Really? I will eat his whole minor league salary. That's the kind of guy I am. I'm getting offers, at least. Reeve's not terribly thrilling. I like Bonneville better. Let's do that. Bias just offers me no interest anymore. So now I'm down to 17 pitchers. So I still got to get rid of 5 more. I should have a lot of pitchers that are roughly the same level. I'm going to go ahead and send Baroa and Cantorino to the minors. I'm going to demote I'll try to trade my Ree if I can. See if somebody's interested in him. But if they're not, I'll just waive him. I mean, Cater and Gigi is real stupid. Chad Tittle is at least a good defender, but he's also kind of dumb. I think we'll go for Stevenson. He's at least a really elite defender. Can I get really greedy and get Tittle too? Can I get both players? Can I double up on stupid outfielders who have some athletic gifts? Please tell me I can. Plus his name is Tittle. What's not to like? You can have a 20 out of 20 guy. Done. Alright, so now I am down to 14 pitchers. We're getting there. 2 more pitchers gotta go. I kind of want to keep Jonathan Norris around. I'm going to send down Lambert and Luberda. And that gets us to the magical number of 12 pitchers. That seems good. We're going to have to make a spot for Swanson as soon as he's healthy. But once he is, I think he'll be an excellent addition to the club. Alright, still way too many players. The next question is... No, Alvarado goes to the minors. I don't know why I paused for a second there. I don't need 4 second basemen. That seems excessive. So Gonzalez goes back to the minors. Farrington, I think, returns to Double-A to get some experience in the high minors. So got to get rid of 8 more players. Sorry, yes, 8 more players. Lane to the minors. Cholowski to the minors. He does not have to be on the fucking Major League roster. I optioned him already. Oh, I guess I have to option him again. That's the issue. Okay. Same with Greg Wall. So I'm gonna make a choice here. Litwin or Mina. Litwin can't play the outfield. Mina theoretically can. I'm gonna let Litwin go to the minors just because he doesn't have he has options and the other guy doesn't. I got way too fucking many outfielders though. The chance to the minors. Arthur to the minors. Doggett to the minors. Do we want Biascoa, or do we want Howman? I think we want Howman in the minors. Because Howman's upside is fairly limited, and Biascoa could actually handle center field if we needed him to. So I think he offers a pretty solid option here. I still have way too many outfielders, to be honest with you. But maybe that's okay. I have 6 outfielders. And I have 2 more infielders. Wait, what? I have... lineups, please. 14 players. No, that's right. That's accurate. 6 of them are outfielders. That seems excessive, but okay. I could use a top-tier right-handed outfielder. That would be kind of helpful, actually. Although Biaskoa does have the benefit of being able to play as a switch hitter. But quite a few switch hitters, actually. Alright. That's that. That's that. And then up to opening day. So I guess here's the question. Are we a better team this year? I genuinely don't know. We're kind of spinning our wheels at this point. We definitely have the potential to be better. I think that is certainly a possibility. Ooh, David Uribe just cracked the top 5. Now the number 9 minor league system, which is pretty cool. The thing is, though, somebody's got to take a step forward this season. Somebody's got to just go out there and ball and prove that they're elite. I don't know who that player is, or even if that player is even on this roster. It could be Oviedo. Maybe shifting him to the outfield will let him truly flourish and have a better career. I hope it does. Peyton Green continues to just be really good at his job. For all the dumb deals I've made, Peyton Green was such a brilliant decision that I think it helps us out a lot. Like, who's the most important player in this lineup? It's obviously Andres Mena. If he works out the way we think he might, we still don't have our megastar outfielder, but we've got somebody that can provide reliable offense. We don't have any bad hitters anymore. We don't have as many elite hitters, but we don't have any bad hitters. We're a very dangerous lineup top to bottom, and I think that's very beneficial to our club as a whole. Everybody can do something well, whether it's hitting for power, hitting for average, a little bit of both. Minor's probably the weakest overall starter, but he offers enough value defensively and with his legs that I think he can make up, even if he's not going to be a tremendous hitter necessarily. If he just gives what he gave us in Double-A last year, I think that's fine. That's what he's here for. Our pitching staff has a lot of question marks. Kind of like our lineup, actually. We don't have any superstar pitchers. We don't have any truly awful pitchers. We just have roughly the same people over and over and over again. Are we a better team? Maybe. Maybe we are, maybe we're not. I do think Petty was a good pickup. I like Petty's low movement, and I think it's going to help us out a lot. I truly do. But we need some young pitcher to step up and be a frontline starter. And Mike Swanson seems patently obvious to be that guy. But on the other hand, we can't lose sight of the fact that he's coming off of a very serious injury. So we'll have to see what he can do given the opportunity. We do have some talented players, but they're mostly fairly high. They're mostly fairly low in the minors, excuse me. So we're going to have to be patient with getting some more elite players closer to the big leagues. I would love to see Caleb Loris take a step forward. Or a step in any direction that isn't backwards. He's barely pitched. That's a big part of his issue. Like, my dude here has barely pitched. But yeah, we don't have any players in the high minors that really strike me as being people that will be a big improvement. But I could be wrong, too. I could be very wrong. We're just going to have to see how players do. Do we let Uribe out of the Do we let Uribe out of the international complex? I don't feel any need to rush it. And I definitely want to wait. So we'll do that. Lewin isn't a righty, is he? He is not. Okay. Alright, my friends, that concludes today's episode. I hope you are enjoying. If you are, please remember to give it a like and a subscription. Comment down below. I think we'll win more games than last year, but I'm not sure how many more. And if a few things go wrong, this could very well bottom out for us. We've got a ton of depth. This, ironically, the opposite of most of my games, where I usually have all the star power, none of the depth. So this is going to be really interesting. Oviedo's got to have an impressive year this year. He has grown each season, but I need him to take that step. If he does, he will get a new contract in this offseason. If he doesn't, we're going to have some decisions to make. Jackson Jobe is gone. I am not foolish enough to assume that he's going to stick around with us and take a pay cut, essentially. Because that would be silly on his part. Man, fucking Kotze. He's got more job security than I do, which is kind of gross. Oh, well. Anyways, friends, that's going to be it for today's episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. But until next time, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.